What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Justin Ford podcast, where I'll be releasing life-changing principles and valuable information focused on all things faith, finance, family, fitness, real estate, and so much more. Let's go! What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Justin Ford Unleashed podcast. Super excited to be with you here again today. Hopefully you've been doing great since the last episode. Guys, if you're loving the show, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button here on YouTube or subscribe to your favorite podcast platform. And if you're really loving the show, go ahead and leave us a 5-star review. If you haven't followed me yet on social media, you can find me at The Official Justin Ford. Again, that's at The Official Justin Ford. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and even on Twitter. Feel free to share this show with your friends and your family members. I've got a great episode in store for you today, something brand new I've never done before. But before we get into that, I want to remind you that this episode is brought to you by my friends over at Next Door Lending. Next Door Lending is a team of professionals that believe everyone should be treated as if they lived next door. The founders and team members have more than 150 years of combined experience helping clients all over the country choose the best loan program to help you accomplish your goals. Next Door Lending is currently licensed in 24 states, respected in all 50 states, and has a team of over 100 loan officers specializing in helping you get the best rate and terms. Whether you're looking to refinance your home or you're looking to purchase your next home, call my friends over at Next Door Lending today at 888-885-3667 or visit their website at nextdoorlending.com. Told you guys I have something brand new in store for you. Today is my first virtual podcast. Every podcast that I've done up until this point has been live here in the studio, but we're expanding our horizons and we're reaching beyond our local market. And I'm super excited to welcome my guest, my friend, and my business partner, Chris Dye from Louisville, Kentucky. What's up, Chris?
Yo. What's up, man? How's it going?
My man, how you doing, brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I always say Chris Dye, my guy, Chris Dye. I love it, man.
I appreciate that. I totally ripped that off when I was in school, like Bill Nye the Science Guy. I'm Chris Dye the Realtor guy. Chris Dye whatever guy.
Chris Dye the Realtor guy. So you're definitely a real estate agent, and we're going to talk a lot about that today. You got some great things that you're doing down in Kentucky, within the real estate industry and even outside of the real estate industry. Yeah. Obviously you're growing a team down there. We're in EXP together, doing some great stuff together. And you even have your own podcast too, right? You just started your own podcast not too long ago.
I do, man. And I appreciate you for kind of pushing me in that direction to start that finally. It's really been 2 years in the making. And one of the cool things was, we filmed our 7th episode yesterday.
That's awesome.
And the guy that I had on the show, I had talked to him 2 years ago about being on the show. And he said yes then, and he said yes now. And he's actually, man, this is super exciting for me. Very, very humbling. But he's actually going to be our first sponsor for the show. So
That's
really,
awesome.
really excited about where the podcast is going.
Yeah. What's the name of the podcast so my listeners can tune into yours as well?
For sure. So it's called the Growth Experience Podcast. If you go on YouTube, youtube.com/@the Growth Experience Podcast, it's on Spotify, it's on Audible, Amazon, it's on Google, it's on Apple. Anywhere you're consuming content, we're there. So
I love it, man. And we're going to talk about, what is, the content is about the show and everything. But first off, man, let's talk about you. I'd love for, you to talk about your journey on how you got into real estate, obviously, how you got to where you are and really how long you've been in real estate, but even, prior to, because I know that you served some time in the military, correct?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. So how old are you? 32. 32. Okay. So you're still a young buck.
Yeah.
I can say that now that I'm 40 and I'm a grandpa. But no, I'm 40, you're 32. It's like, it's not too off. But talk about how you got to where you are, right? So obviously you're married, you have kids. Tell us about Chris Dye, the realtor guy.
Man, love my family. I am married. April 8th of this year, we'll be 7 years married,
So
8 years
awesome.
together. We got back together. We actually dated in high school. I'm not going to tell that story because my wife would probably be upset with me. Might be a little bit too public for the time being. So we dated in high school, reconnected right before I went into the military, actually in 2015, and we have four amazing kids together. So first and foremost, that I have to shout them out because
That's
I
awesome.
wouldn't be where I am today without them. And then also, uh, the biggest question, I guess, would be what haven't I done, right? So I've done a little bit of everything. Been a dog groomer, been a hotel front desk associate. Did the military thing while I was in the Army. And even prior to that, I went to the University of Louisville for music education and music performance. So I was a classically trained musician.
That's
I can
awesome.
now say that I was a professional musician because I got paid to play in the military. So my MOS was 42 Romeo, which was an Army bandsman at that time. And so yeah, man, I spent while it was one of the greatest times of my life, it was also one of the hardest because I ended up towards the tail end of my career. Had a couple surgeries and some things that Kelsey and I walked through that made it difficult, but always so thankful for the time that I had in the military. Thought I was going to be a lifer, but God had other plans, and
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean that's just a little bit of kind of where after the military, uh, I ended up doing some car sales type stuff, and that was my first taste of commission sales.
Yeah.
And then jumped into construction, and that just like I'm sure you could explain for yourself,
Yep.
all roads led to real estate. So here
Yeah.
I am.
I love that, and even for me, it's interesting. I had to go through so many different paths and experiences to get where I am. And
Yeah.
what's interesting is I didn't grow up wanting to be a real estate agent, right?
Right. Right.
I didn't even know what real estate really was.
Yeah.
And it's interesting how all those paths and all those other things kind of led me, to where I am. And it's interesting even about your story because it sounds like you wanted to go into the military, right?